Panic attack, Jungkook's POV. After a few hours of being up at the cabin, Taehyung and I finally left. Taehyung had his head on the window again, and I couldn't help but smile at him. On today's trip, I found Taehyung doing a lot of cute things. I hated thinking the things I have about him. I had no idea if Taehyung was gay or anything, and I don't want to make him very uncomfortable. I love Taehyung a lot, even if it wasn't super romantic. Jungkook, Taehyung said quietly, hmm? Can I tell you something and you wouldn't judge me for it? He asked me. Of course, Taehyung, I told him. I think I am questioning my sexuality. I don't think I'm straight, he said softly. That's okay. I'm not against of LGBT community. I still love you as much as I did before. I told him as we finally got onto the main road. I looked over at him and saw that he seems to be nervous. Maybe he was nervous from telling me what he had just told me. Maybe Thang was just nervous about his father for figuring out. Most kids were scared to come out of their parents about this stuff. When we get back to Thang's house, I stayed in the car as Thang headed onto his house. Once I knew that Thang had made it in the house safely, I drove to my house with a smile on my face because all I was thinking about was Thang. I was really happy that I brought him up to the cabin. I didn't usually bring people to the cabin. Youngie was the only one who knew about this cabin, but he has never been up to it or actually seen it. I haven't ever brought people to the cabin. After my uncle died, I didn't like people outside of the family coming to the cabin. When I get home, I locked my car up before heading down. Inside, my mom was sitting on the couch reading a book. Where were you? The school called me and said that you weren't there today. She asked me as she closed her book and looked at me. Taehyung broke down before Jungkook school even started. I asked if he wanted to leave. I took him to the cabin. I told her, was he okay after some time? She asked me. I nodded my head back to her. It took some time, but he was completely fine on the way there and the whole time until we got close to his house. I told her, I miss him. You should bring him over for dinner one night. She told me, I'll try to convince him. I can't promise that he will come over. I told her. I talked with my mother for a little while longer before I headed up to my room. I closed my bedroom door and emptied my pockets before I changed out of the clothes I have been wearing all the day. Once I had finished getting dressed, I heard my phone going off. Taehyung, help me. I can't breathe. Can help me, please? I started to panic as I read Taehyung's text. I quickly hit the call button and put my phone on the speaker while I waited for Taehyung to answer. It took a few seconds for Taehyung to answer my call, but when he did, I could hear him crying badly. Taehyung, are you okay? I asked him. Can't breathe. He told me in between sobs, Taehyung, I need you to try to calm down a little bit, okay? Can you try to breathe in the in for 10 seconds and breathe out for as long as you can? I asked him. I heard Taehyung doing what I asked him to do. It took a long time for Taehyung to get his breathing slightly normal. Every now and again, he would let out sobs for a few seconds. I would just sit and tell him calming things to try help him calm down. I'm sorry, I had a panic attack. Taehyung said barely over a whisper. It's okay. Will you okay for the rest of the night? I can stay on the call with you. I said to Taehyung, can you stay on the call? Of course. Are you comfortable in bed? I asked him as I lay down in my bed and pulled my blanket over myself. Yes, Taehyung said quietly, and were both silent for minutes. I wasn't uncomfortable at all. It felt nice. I knew that Taehyung probably thought the same, especially after the panic attack. After some time, I heard a soft snort and smiled when realized that Taehyung was asleep. Good night, Tae. I love you, I said as I closed my eyes and fell asleep. Thanks, POV. When I got onto my house after Jungkook dropped my me off, I was hit with the smell of alcohol. I didn't see my dad sitting in the living room, but when I looked in the kitchen, I saw him standing with a bottle of brown liquid. You are home late, he said to me. I'm sorry, sir. Track practice started late, I told him. My dad set the bottle of alcohol down on the counter, and as he waved for me to come over to him, I set my backpack down on the ground before I slowly walked over to him. Once I was standing in front of him, my dad grabbed my waist. My dad shook me his head as he let go of me and walked over to where he kept the measuring tape. Before he could tell me what to do, I did what I always had to do. My dad put the tape around my waist tightly and looked angry when he saw the measurement. 19.6. Taehyung, I'm very disappointed. You need to lose a lot of weight, he said to me. I'm sorry, I promise you. I haven't been eating since the last time you let me eat. I have only had water. I said in fear. I had no idea what my dad would do to me. I don't want a fat son. I don't want to disappoint your future owner. You're a disappointment. You are a freak, he told me. Oh, Una, I stuttered. I was shocked. What did Dad mean by this? Shut up, he shouted at me. I'm sorry, I said as tears were falling my eyes. Get up to your room. You aren't going to be able to eat anytime soon, he told me. Yes, sir. I walked over to the front door quickly as so I could grab my backpack. Before going to upstairs to my room, I locked my bedroom door and hung my backpack on the doorknob. I quickly walked over to the mirror in my bedroom and pulled my shirt up so I could see myself. I frowned as I looked at myself. I hated how my body looked. My dad was right. My stomach just itself was too big. I didn't dare to look at my arm and leg, knowing that they weren't be much better. I started to cry as I rolled my sleeves up and wrapped my finger around my wrist. I checked to see if I was able to touch my fingers in my thumb. After I did that, I completely took my shirt off and looked at myself in the mirror once again. I grabbed at my upper arm and started to cry even more as I was able to grab a lot of skin. I grabbed at them and fell to the floor. When I was able to grab a lot of skin, I ran my hands through my hair a few times before I started to pull my hair as I hard as I could. My chest and started to feel tight and felt like there was something very heavy in my chest at that same time. I let go of my hair with one hand and moved to my chest. I was scared because I wasn't able to breathe. I knew that I was having a panic attack, but the Other ones I have had wasn't like this. I grabbed for my phone and started to text Jungkook. Me, help me. I can't breathe. Can help please. I could see my screen, so I had no idea if Jungkook had texted me back. I had no idea if I was even texting Jungkook. I heard my phone started ringing and I hit a button, and then I heard a voice, Taehyung, are you okay? I heard Jungkook's voice say, can't breathe. I told him in between sobs, Taehyung, I need you to try to calm down a little bit, okay? Can you try to breathe in for 10 seconds and breathe out for as long as you can? Jungkook asked me. I started doing what he had asked me to do. I would stop every now and again, but I was getting interrupted by my own sobs I started doing. After some time, I had finally calmed down. I'm sorry. I had a panic attack, I said, barely over a whisper. It's okay. Will you be okay for the rest of the night? I can stay on a call with you. Jungkook said to me, can you stay on a call? Of course. You are comfortable in bed? Jungkook asked me as he made a lot of noise. I assured that he was lying down. Yes, I said curtly as I stood up and quickly got onto my bed. The call was quiet but not uncomfortable. I could hear Jungkook breathing every now and again on his end of the call, and it helped me feel even better. After some time, my eyes started to feel tired. I closed my eyes and allowed myself to fall asleep. After a few minutes, thanks POV, the next day at school, it seems like normal day. Jungkook and Yoongi didn't say anything about my breaking down from yesterday, and Jungkook didn't say anything about our call last night. I was happy that they were acting like nothing had happened. And last day, my body felt very tired from the beatings from the other days and from not eating. I knew that I didn't need to eat. I needed to be able to make my dad happy. For that, whatever reason he had to make me with being skinny, I had to be happy with my body, and the only way to be happy with is to be skinny. Would you like to have my apple? Yoongi asked me as we all sat together for at lunch. I shook my head back to him. I'm not hungry, I told him. Taehyung started to get worried. This was fine at first, but it's very concerning now. Yoongi told me, I'm fine. Why don't you believe me? I asked him, Taehyung, you have fainted like 5 times in track. It's only been 2 months. Jungkook is also worried about this, but he doesn't want to tell you because we know that you wouldn't tell us what is wrong. Yoongi said, tears coming to his eyes. I'm fine. What would be wrong with me? You never eat. I do eat, just not at school. Bull. You wouldn't faint if you actually ate. Yoongi said angrily. I stood up and quickly walked away from the table. I heard Jungkook saying my name, but I didn't look back at him. I walked outside and sat down on one of the benches outside. I pulled my knees up to my chest and I had my head resting on my knees as tears started to fall down my face slowly. Taehyung, I'm sorry, Jungkook said as he ran over to me and placed his hand on my shoulder. It's fine, I told him as I forced a fake smile. I will talk to Yoongi later. He didn't mean to be rude or anything, Jungkook said. He could have been nicer, I told Jungkook as I wiped my eyes. I know, I'm sorry. Do you want to go back inside. We don't have to be back to the cafeteria, Jungkook asked as he held his hand out to me. I nodded my head back to him as I took his hand. We walked back onto the school, but like Jungkook said, we didn't go to the cafeteria. Jungkook and I walked around the hallway of the school for the rest of our lunch period. We got our stuff for our last few classes before the period even ended. Jungkook stayed with me outside my classroom so neither of us would be alone. When the bell rang, Jungkook headed to his class. I was very happy that I had Jungkook. I knew that Yoongi didn't mean any harm, but why he had said was hurtful. Jungkook was able to cheer me up quickly and very easily. After school, I quickly changed into my clothes for track and headed down to the field. I didn't wave at Jungkook and Yoongi before I left because I was still sad about the fight I had with Yoongi. When I got down to the track, I stretched for a few minutes before running for 10 minutes. Everyone came down to the track and warm up and run when they were ready. Once everyone was done, we all went to what we did. While I was running, my vision started to slowly go black. I stopped running and placed my hand on my knees as I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. After a few minutes, I stood back up and started to run again. After about 10 minutes of me running again, my vision started going black again, but this time much faster than before. Are you okay? One of another runner, Jimin, asked me as they placed their hand on my back, lightheaded. I told him as I stood straight. My vision went completely black. After I stood up completely and I fell down on the ground, I lost all senses of hearing and feeling. As I laid down on the ground, I wasn't able to move any part of my body, neither. I was very confused on why I couldn't move. After some time, I could hear a few people around me and I could feel someone playing with my hair. Should we call an ambulance? He's been like that for almost 10 minutes. One of the voice said, he's moving now, he will wake up in few minutes. Another voice said. I slowly opened my eyes and turned my head so I wouldn't be looking straight up at the sun. After a few minutes of blinking and getting my eyes used to the light again, I looked up. I saw Jungkook sitting above me. My head was lying on his lap. Are you okay? He asked me quietly. I nodded my head back to him as I slowly sat up. I felt Jungkook's hand on my back as I rubbed my forehead. Take it easy, Jungkook said softly. What happened? I asked as I looked around me. I saw Yoongi, a coach, and other runner. You fainted? Do you have any idea why you fainted? The coach asked me. No. I looked up at Yoongi. He looked like he wanted to say something. I was glad that he didn't say anything back to the coach about what had happened during lunch today. I think you should take some time off from coming to practice. The last few times you have fainted, the coach said. I panicked when she said that. I had no idea what would happen at home when I came home early. My dad wouldn't be okay with that. Okay, is all I said, knowing that this could end up bad for me. Thanks, POV. At the end of the track practice, Jungkook started to talk to me. I found it really weird, but was hoping that he was apologizing for what had happened at lunch. Taehyung, can I talk to you? Yoongi asked me. I nodded my head as I put my bags over my shoulder and looked at him. Taehyung started to walk away from everyone else and I followed him. When we walked out all the way around the building, I'm sorry about what happened at lunch. I am very worried, especially after what had happened today. Youngie told me it's okay. I wish that you apologized sooner, but I'm not mad at you. I understand that you were worried, but I'm fine, I told him. Taehyung, it's very concerning how you never eat. You had a terrible limp not that long ago and your face was badly bruised. Just last week, Taehyung, Jungkook and I are way too worried about you. He said, I promise I'm fine. I eat dinner when I get home and I ate right before I leave for school. I told him only openly lying to him. Okay, please listen to the coach and stay home for a few days. Youngie said I knew that I couldn't stay home. I would get badly injured by my dad for staying home. I would get fast fatter if it stayed home. I promise, I told him. We headed back to the building and saw Jungkook standing outside on his phone, most likely waiting for us. When we walked up to him, he put his phone onto his pocket. Before we walked to the parking lot, Jungkook offered me a ride like every day and I told him no, just like every day. When I got home, I found my dad lying on the couch with a bottle of whiskey in his hand. There were many empty beer and another whiskey bottle on the coffee table. I knew that he was going to be much more aggressive because of all the alcohol in his system. I hate you, my dad said as I closed the door, and I was very confused why he said that. I haven't done anything to him and him to hate me. My dad stood up very slowly. The couch quickly put my hand in my pocket and grabbed my phone. I quickly went to my contacts and called Jungkook. I was hoping that he was going to answer. My dad walked over to me and grabbed a fistful of my hair. I took a deep breath from the pain. I never wanted you. When your mother told me that she was pregnant, I should have just left. Look at you. You are a freaking disappointment. I'm waiting for you to be adult and Iruna will take you out of my life and I will be rich, he said. My dad turned around while he still had a hold on my hair and made me wake him with him. I was winching from the pain every few seconds because he kept pulling on my hair harder and harder. My dad threw me onto the kitchen floor and had an angry look on his face. I tried to stand up, but he sat down on top of me before I could even get. My dad punched me in my face and I lied back from the pain. My dad continued to punch me on my chest and my face. I would cough every now and again. I was very happy that my dad wasn't able to feel my phone in my pants pocket. He was most likely too drunk to realize what was in my pocket if he had even felt it. After some time, my dad got off me. My nose was bleeding badly and my chest felt tight from him punching me over and over. I thought the beating was done, but my dad sat down on me once again. I looked up at him and saw him holding a soft thing in his hand. I panicked as I tried to move away from him. Even though I knew it was worthless, my dad grabbed both of my arms and held them over my head. He set the thing on the ground as he pulled my shirt up, so my stomach was showing he was going to do something to me. I wanted to move. I was scared of getting myself even more injured. I cried out when I felt the thing going into my skin. I shut my eyes and leaned my head back from the amount of pain I was in. My dad kept doing it. I could tell that he was writing something, but I didn't know what it was. I heard the front door open quickly, and just a few seconds later, my dad was no longer on top of me. I wanted to see who is in the house. I wanted to see who has saved me, but I felt way too tired. I let my eyes shut, but felt a hand on my side of my face. I could slightly hear yelling, but it was all going silent around me. See you tomorrow with the ending episode of this FF. Bye bye.